What has been another cool day across Central Oregon, and yes, more PM showers are already pushing through our Tri-County area. Now, at this point, there's not a risk of thunderstorm activity, just some much-needed rainfall and temperatures that are staying way below average for this time of the year. Hey everyone, good evening. I am Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. We are about to take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Look at what's been happening today, what's causing this weather pattern, and when that's going to be changing. So let's start things off with how it looks right here and right now across the high desert. There is a whole lot of cloud cover, and some of these cameras actually have a little bit of raindrop action going on the lenses. You can see some of those showers off in the distance. And as we go forward through the next few days, times of clearing are indeed expected, but we're staying cool. We're still looking at some damp roads, and that's pretty much what we have across parts of the high desert this afternoon. So not everybody getting wet just yet, but again, no lightning strikes anywhere near us. That total on the banner showed 0. And we can see when those showers have been pushing through. Now, the radar isn't picking up on all the rain. About 4 o'clock, there was a shower that was pushing through parts of the Greater Bend area. We are the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center and studio in the northern parts of Bend. That's where we were getting a little bit of that shower activity. So some of it flying under the radar, so to say. Others, we can see where that rain is falling, and we are not done yet. When we look at the bigger picture, there is a front that's just making landfall. Now, the showers ahead of that front have already been pushing through the east slopes of the I-5 corridor, the east slopes of the Cascades, now through the Tri-County area. So we are not done. The clearing line's still offshore, and that's not it. There's going to be one more front that hasn't even formed yet coming off of this same low pressure. So let's focus on this low pressure system. And it does look like a strong low that continues to circulate just offshore off of Victoria Island and the Olympic Peninsula, and this actual low is pretty far out there. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to use an analysis tool, and we're going to go ahead and just figure out how far offshore. So it's still a good 230 miles to 430 miles offshore, and so it's still going to take its time to get here. And as it gets a little bit closer, we are expecting another wave of moisture, one more cold front to develop, and that's going to be a reinforcing cold front as it pushes through the high desert. We're expecting a few more showers and keeping those temperatures topping out in the 60s with lows that are just going to be chilly. But that clearing line not too far away from us with this look at enhanced satellite imagery. When we look at the bigger picture, there is a ridge of high pressure way out over the Pacific Ocean, but it's really not going to be impacting us, because what's going to happen is our low actually stays offshore for a couple more days, and then it starts to work its way inland. As it does, we're still going to be impacted by this low pressure system come Thursday, and we'll look at that plus more here in the next several minutes. But let's start things off, or go to next. Let's go ahead and move over to wind gusts. This is what the gusts look like right now. I should say in the last 15 minutes, this is a look at some of those top wind gusts between 23 and 33 miles per hour. So we do have some strong winds, mostly out of the west and southwest, and actual wind speeds are not as intense, but impressive nevertheless. 10 to 20 mile per hour winds. These don't even start to taper off until we get to later on this evening. In fact, just before sunset, they start to go down, but it's still going to be breezy. We get back down to a light breeze for most of us around midnight. Now, this is the hour, or the couple of hours, that we were looking at winds at their strongest, this highest gusts. Once we get into the evening lineup, we have the 5 o'clock show on ABC, the 6 and the 7 on CBS. We'll notice those winds will be tapering during that time. Going forward, overnight, winds don't become completely gentle. We stay at a light breeze, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. For some of us, you could say 2 to 12 miles per hour. But then by tomorrow, once again, 10 to 20 mile per hour winds with gusts at 30 plus. Meanwhile, when it comes to relative humidity, some of us are a little dry, but not too bad. We've got 30s and 40s. Look at sister, 63% humidity. Now remember, once you get above, say, 90% humidity, that's when we start to see the potential for some fog. And some of that's going to be possible tonight. The best chance of any fog development is going to be Thursday night going into Friday. Have a lot of moisture over the area. The last cold front has moved out, and we're starting to get into a more sunshine weather pattern. And that's when we do have a chance of some more widespread fog possible. But either way, we're looking at, in the last 24 hours, temperatures did not go far, 60s and some 50s. Right now, we're still in the 60s and 50s. So slightly cooler than 24 hours ago for parts of the Tri-County area, but others a little bit warmer. So temperatures are actually running between 3 degrees cooler and 9 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago. Now for tonight, we're falling back into the 40s. Some 30s and a few 20s are possible. By tomorrow, we don't warm up much. We're topping out once again in the 60s. So just a quick look at your school bus forecast. Morning temperatures 40s, chilly to start, partly cloudy. By the afternoon 60s with more PM showers possible and winds still gusty at times. Now keep in mind with Wednesday we are looking at showers that aren't going to be as widespread. Winds are still going to be breezy, and there is still a chance of some showers, but we're looking at highs in the 60s with some 50s. So let's go ahead and time this out. We're going to start with a forecast model that's not specifically focused on rain. We'll get to that one in just a few minutes, but this one is what you're looking at is you have the streamlines, the wind direction, and then below that you have the surface temperature, and we can see that those temperatures aren't warm, they're not too cool either. They're relatively mild, but a little below average for this time of the year, so a little on the cool side. Now more clouds, some showers, and periods of clearing are expected on Wednesday, highs in the 60s. By Thursday, 60s and a few 50s, so a slight dip in temperatures with a few more showers expected, and then that cooler air mass stays with us for a little bit longer, but more sunshine is expected by Friday. So we are looking at a change up in the weather pattern. We are expecting more rain, but by the time we get to Thursday night going into Friday, that low is still offshore, about to make landfall before it really fizzles out. So when it comes to our temperatures, roller coaster temperatures are expected, but all of them well below the average high of 73 degrees. More showers Wednesday, Thursday, more sunshine Friday, still more in and out clouds for the weekend. That's going to be a weak front that does not bring us much at all in the way of precipitation. So let's look at a different forecast model. This one is the one that we typically show on air for the 7 o'clock show, and it shows that low pressure out over the Pacific Ocean. Remember, I believe we saw measured that at about 430 miles to the west of Victoria Island, BC, and we do still have some showers between our coastline and that low, but another cold front is going to be developing. You'll see that in the forecast model run. The primary cold front has already made landfall. That's what we're getting the showers from this afternoon and evening, and here during the overnight hours, during the AM hours, some times of clearing possible. It's going to be cool, chilly for some of us, and then more showers are going to be possible as we get into Wednesday. But once that next cold front starts to make landfall, the mountains really absorb most of that moisture through the rest of Wednesday. Some clearing, but also a few more sprinkles possible. And then by Thursday, go ahead and look right behind the banner, straight over my head right here. See that counterclockwise circulation? That's our low. Now the low already fizzling out, but it continues to roll a little closer to the coastline, and it's not until it makes landfall that it really fizzles out. So through Friday, we are expecting some early clouds followed by some PM clearing. Now, when we go past that, we have to use a different forecast model, and this one actually shows more sunshine for Friday. This isn't as high resolution. There's not as much put into it, but it does go a lot further out. And this one shows I'm sorry, I went the wrong way. This one shows that we had more sunshine on Friday. And let me get to the end of this. Sorry, there we go. And then by the time we get to Saturday, that next cold front does bring some in and out clouds. By Sunday, still in and out clouds, no rain in sight. By Monday and Tuesday, some clouds possible, but staying relatively dry. And it's not until then, Monday and Tuesday, early next week, that we start to see our next round of warming. So between now and 7 a.m. tomorrow, many of us still getting some shower activity. And then through Wednesday, some light showers possible, more like a couple of sprinkles possible. And then by Thursday, much the same. Most of the rain Wednesday and Thursday gets absorbed by the Cascades. A few sprinkles make it our way. So for tonight, we're talking 40s and 30s with a few 20s, maybe a couple of 50s possible, where a little extra cloud cover sticks around and we don't get as much radiational cooling. By Wednesday, we're looking at 60s. The potential for some 50s is still going to be there. And your 7-day planner shows that highs in the 60s through most of the 7-day planner, actually all the way through Sunday. By Monday and Tuesday, the next warm-up begins, bringing our temperatures back up closer to average for this time of the year by this time next week. Outside of highs, lows are going to be the 40s and then 30s. Some of those lows are going to be flirting with freezing. And a couple of nights, we are looking at some areas of fog, mainly tonight, and then again Thursday night tonight going into Friday. Winds are going to be gusty still tomorrow, but back down to breezy Saturday and Sunday. So a recap, your weather headlines for this Tuesday, September the 30th. We are expecting more scattered showers. Cooler air settles in, parks itself over the Pacific Northwest. We're looking at 60s for most of the seven-day planner. Now with more showers in the forecast, followed by tapering winds, calming just a light back down to a light breeze. Fire risk is definitely easing, but it's still going to be a little breezy at times, specifically tomorrow, and then again Saturday and Sunday. That's the latest in weather. I will go ahead and leave you with one last look at our satellite and radar. For that, I've got to switch graphics real quick. And there are showers, not much at all in the way of thunderstorm activity. Winds have been gusty, and really across the entire state, I don't even see a single lightning bolt. And so what that means for us is this is just some much needed rain rolling into the high desert. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. Well, the latest headlines and your most reliable forecasts. We'll see you then. Also, if you like what we've been doing with these deep dives and a couple other things to YouTube, hit that like or subscribe button. And if you want to see something that I haven't actually shown in one of these deep dives into your most reliable forecast, put that in the comment section. I'm doing this for you, so if you want to see something extra, let me know what it is, and I'd love to include it in the next edition of it. So that's it. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll see you then.